Research can be a tricky topic to really understand if you don't have a science-based background. So my goal for today is really to give you the tools necessary for you to look through the research and understand it when you see it. Because there's a lot of times people say, oh, it's backed by science. Yeah, maybe. I'm always very skeptical and critical when people tell me something's evidence-based. I want to see the actual data. So this is the evidence-based pyramid. From the bottom, we have case reports, annual studies, cross-sectional studies, case control studies, cohort studies, RCTs, systematic reviews, and meta-analyses. As you get higher on this pyramid, the evidence goes up. If you notice, I made a red line between cohort studies and RCTs. It's because I believe once you get into the RCTs is when we can really start to apply the science into our everyday programming, athlete relationship. But below that, it's going to be really hard to make a connection and really take that data and use it every day. A lot of times, the studies below the red line are going to be really good at giving us variables that we can later on put into randomized controlled trials to find a better connection between the two. So randomized controlled trials are really good because they have randomization of subjects, they have blinding of the testers, and then they also have a lot more control of variables. Much more control of variables compared to all the studies before that. RCTs are really the gold standard when it comes to research. So above that we have systematic reviews. And those are combinations or compilations of randomized controlled trials. They give us the best well-rounded picture of what that research supports or shows. So whenever we have RCTs that say, let's say dry needling is good, well, we're also going to have other types of research that may not support that same statement that dry needling is good. So randomized controlled trials are good, but they're not everything. We need to have a combination view of everything. So that's where systematic reviews and meta-analyses come in. Is it gives us a big picture view of what most of the research shows with that specific population. It is normally very population-based or biased. So if you're working with pediatric people, then most of the systematic reviews will be just on that type of people. So this gives us a lot to work off of. Systematic reviews and meta-analyses are what guidelines are made off of. So what the guidelines were for muscle hypertrophy, being 8 to 12 or 8 to 15 rep ranges, probably came from RCTs, where we compared and contrasted between the multiple sets and rep ranges and found that, okay, we found some systematic reviews that show that the 8 to 15 rep range is going to be best for muscle hypertrophy. And then the guidelines were developed from that. So when you're looking at evidence or research, stick the majority of the time between RCTs and systematic reviews. Those are going to be the best bang for your buck. All these ones that are here can be helpful, but they're not going to give you the best picture and really allow you to bring things together for your athletes. Okay, so Pubmed is a free resource for anyone to look for, but it's only going to give you abstracts, so that's going to be just the highlight points of the research article. You can subscribe to journals like the National Strength and Conditioning Association. They have monthly articles that come out. Just know that if you're getting published in a journal like that, it is strong research. They reject the majority of submissions they have. So if you see an article is published by a journal that's a strong accredited journal, that's a really good thing. That's what you want to look for. If you have a hard time still navigating the research and reading it, because it is very complex, there are other sources or other resources that you can use to really take in that information. My two favorite ones are going to be examine.com, which is really good for nutrition. It kind of breaks it down into, you can literally click on the supplement or the nutrition source, and it will literally show you all the evidence that goes along with it, and it gives you a big snapshot picture of it. Also, Stronger by Science is another really good resource put on by Greg Nuckols and his team, and that has systematic reviews and meta-analyses, like tons of chock of them, that are all about the strength world. There's strength, there's nutrition, there's supplementation, muscle hypertrophy, so all different types of systematic reviews that are recent. A lot of them are in the past 5 years. That's another thing you want to take into consideration when you're reading research, is you want to find things that are recent. So give it a shot, let me know what you think. This stuff can be hard, But just like anything else, the more practice you have reading research or looking at research, the better and more comfortable you're going to feel.
Hey guys, now do me a favor. Go subscribe to our channel, like our videos, comment. I promise you if you comment, I'll get back to you and answer all your questions. Thanks for watching.